The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra is a strange phone because despite having the bigger display, powerful hardware, and more complete camera system, I actually think it is the less interesting of Samsung's two Galaxy Z Fold 8 models, but that doesn't mean I like it any less. In fact, the Ultra still remains my favorite overall foldable. Samsung didn't completely reinvent the phone this year, but it upgraded just enough of the right areas to make an already excellent device even harder to beat. It's flatter, slightly thinner, has a much bigger battery, faster charging, and improved cameras. Those may not sound like groundbreaking changes individually, but together they turned the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra into an incredibly polished folding flagship. It is expensive, there is no getting around that, but because this is genuinely a two-in-one Android device, a smartphone and a tablet in a single package, the value actually makes more sense than you might expect. Personally, when I look at the overall package, I'd still choose this over the competition. Samsung changed its strategy for flagship foldables this year by splitting the lineup into two very different devices. On one side, there is the standard Galaxy Z Fold 8, which gets a completely new, wider design focused heavily on content consumption. On the other side is the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, which keeps the more familiar fold design and continues to prioritize productivity, multitasking, and that traditional book-style folding experience. That creates a slightly awkward position for the Ultra. Even with the new Ultra branding, this phone doesn't look dramatically different from the model that came before it. There are plenty of changes underneath and several useful refinements, but visually it is still very much an evolution of the previous Fold, and honestly, I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing. The previous generation was already one of my favorite phone of the year. Samsung didn't have to start from zero. Instead, it seems like the company decided that the better strategy was to take an already great foldable and improve the areas that could actually benefit from it. One of the clearest advantages the Ultra has over the standard Z Fold 8 is its camera hardware. You get a 200 megapixel main camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom and a new 50 megapixel ultra wide camera. For people who care about photography, that dedicated telephoto zoom lens is important because you get genuine optical zoom rather than relying completely on digital enhancement. The camera performance is excellent in both bright conditions and low light. Images are detailed, colors are generally pleasing, and Samsung's processing does a good job of pulling usable results out of more difficult scenes. If I am being extremely picky, however, I still prefer the output from Google's Pixel phones. Pixel images often look a little more detailed and slightly more accurate to real life, particularly when it comes to certain textures and colors. Still, the new 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera is a welcome upgrade. It gives you better detail when you're shooting large landscapes, architectures, or any scene where you need a very wide perspective. Here are some camera samples from the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra is a strong refinement of what Samsung has already built, but I don't think it delivers the same impact the Galaxy Z Fold 7 did when that dramatically thinner design first appeared. There are still meaningful upgrades throughout the phone. Performance is stronger, the displays are brighter, battery life is significantly better, charging is faster, and the cameras have improved, especially the ultra wide. The problem is that none of those changes make the Ultra feel like a completely new product. And honestly, my bigger complaint is not about what Samsung built, it's about what I think Samsung could have built. I would love to see the wider chassis from the standard Z Fold 8 combined with the Ultra's 3 rear cameras and an even larger internal screen somewhere around 8.4 inches. That would give you more vertical room for multitasking while also making the huge internal display substantially better for movies and television. To me, that would be the kind of changes that would make the Ultra name feel truly justified. As it stands, the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra is still an excellent foldable phone and a very polished successor to the Z Fold 7, but the improvements Samsung made in 2026 simply aren't dramatic enough to convince most existing owners that they need to upgrade. And with the Ultra starting at around $2,100 compared with $1,900 for the standard Galaxy Z Fold 8, the cheaper model makes a strong case for itself. Unless you are a serious multitasker who constantly needs 2 apps open at the same time, or you really want a dedicated optical zoom camera, the regular Galaxy Z Fold 8 is still the model I would recommend for this generation.